Good morning. Welcome to Crawford County Board of Commissioners meeting for May 10th, 2023. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance with Commissioner Wiederspan.
All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need approval of minutes for the full session on April 26th, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Saw.
Aye.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Any approval of the minutes from the work session on May 3rd.
So moved. Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Saw.
Aye.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. And approval of payment of bills in the amount of $3,691,275.42 for the period ending May 9th, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Saw.
Aye.
There were no executive sessions. Any public comment?
None.
Thank you. The Crawford County Coroner.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Where's Scott?
Requesting approval for a $7,000 retainer fee to go to Erie County Coroner's Office for our forensic services.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Saw.
Aye.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Adult probation.
Morning, Commissioner.
Morning, Trevor.
Trevor.
I'm here today to seek your approval to apply for the 2023-2024 Drug and Alcohol RIP Intermediate Punishment Grant in the amount of $270,000. This is a fiscal grant that will start July 1 of this year.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Saw.
Aye.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public safety.
Morning.
Morning, Greg.
Morning, Greg.
We're asking to ratify the approval of the 23-24 Hazardous Materials Response Fund grant from FEMA in the amount of $18,786.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Saw.
Aye.
Thank you. I'd also like to approve the payment of $4,800 to Gildea Construction for approximately 92 additional tons of #1 stone at the Greaser Road Tower site.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Saw.
Aye.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
We're going to hold off on the corrective facility. We're going to go to Solid Waste Authority.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Brenda.
We're here seeking approval to ratify the designation of Brenda Schmidt as the County Recycling Coordinator.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Saw.
Aye.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
And also would like to seek your permission to ratify the 903 grant application, which covers the approved expenses of the 2022 County Recycling Coordinator position.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Saw.
Aye.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brenda.
County planning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Zachary.
Morning, Jack. First item this morning, we're seeking approval to pay an invoice for HRG Inc. in the amount of $6,000 for engineering and design services for the East Branch Knox and King Trails. This is non-budgeted, but is paid for out of the ARC Power Grant.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Saw.
Aye.
Next, we're asking for approval to pay invoices for Porter Consulting and Engineering in the amount of $12,167.33 for engineering and design services with Heidi Cooper. This is paid for out of the CDBG CV competitive grant.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Saw.
Aye.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
And finally, we're asking to ratify a payment to the Economic Progress Alliance of Crawford County in the amount of $250 for rental fees associated with our conference room for the county's comprehensive plan project. It's paid for out of the State Facility Transition Closure Program.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Saw.
Aye.
Wiederspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Thank you.
John.
Thanks, Zach.
County maintenance.
Morning.
Morning,
Mark.
Asking to ratify approval to pay invoices for the courthouse remodeling project, the HVAC project, for $154,866.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Asking to ratify approval of invoices for the courthouse remodeling project, the courthouse window replacement, to total $76,150.76.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Asking to ratify approval to pay Penelec for work to bring in new electric service into the courthouse for $55,897.14.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Asking to ratify approval of invoices for remodeling the treasurer's office, totaling $3,849.36.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Approval to pay Brian Noah, project manager, for professional services from April 1st, 2023 to April 30th, 2023 for $2,110.50.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Asking approval to pay Otis Elevator for the yearly maintenance agreement at the courthouse for $11,503.68.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Asking approval to pay Dengler's Farm Garage for work done on Farmall 706 tractor for $540.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Asking approval to pay Powell Sanitation and Construction, this was to clean the grease trap at the Renewed Life Haven for $800.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
And asking approval to pay Shingle Deckers Welding 50% of the project total to rehab bridge number 8, Creek Road Bridge, for $72,500. This will be paid with liquid fuels money.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Human Services.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'm seeking approval of the fiscal year 23-24 cleaning services agreement with Annie's Flooring and Commercial Services.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Seeking approval of the purchase requisition for 6 laptops, 4 tablets, 20 monitors, and 3 docking stations. We're utilizing retained revenue for these purchases. The total cost is $15,581.14. The cost of the county is $831.36.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Seeking approval of the purchase requisition for CIT online coordinator training and to send the 911 director to train the trainer CIT training in Utah in September. The total cost would not exceed $5,286.62. There is no cost to the county. This is being paid for through the Northwest 3 Partnership Training Funds.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
I'm seeking approval of the purchase requisition to Farm Chem for drug patch kits and overlays. The total cost is $645.24. The cost of the county is $146.92. This is a budgeted item.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Seeking approval of the F1 amendment to the fiscal year 22-23 CYS contract with BDM Sisters Group Home. We have a CYS ID youth placed here who is exhibiting emotional dependence issues and physical outbursts. In order to preserve the placement and provide additional support to the youth, we're adding 3 services to the contract.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Seeking approval of the F1 amendment to the fiscal year 22-23 CYS contract with Families United Network, adding all of their residential programs to the contract.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Wiederspin.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
I'm seeking approval of the fiscal year 22-23 C2 amendment to the mental health contract with Hand in Hand Mental Health Services. As part of our retained revenue plan, the provider has been approved to make improvements to several of their facilities.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
Seeking approval of the fiscal year 22-23 C1 amendment to the MHIDEI contract with Titusville Area Senior Citizens Corporation. As part of our retained revenue plan, the provider has been approved to purchase 10 sets of shelving.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Seeking approval of the fiscal year 22-23 professional contract with Crawford County Drug and Alcohol Executive Commission. As part of our retained revenue plan, the provider has been approved to purchase supplies for their consumer closet.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Saw,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Seeking approval of the fiscal year 22-23 professional contract with New Beginnings Church of God, doing business as Water's Edge Christian Services. As part of our retained revenue plan, the provider has been approved to provide mental health first aid training to active aging staff.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
Seeking approval of the fiscal year 22-23 professional contract with St. James Haven. As part of our retained revenue plan, the provider has been approved to purchase a new furnace, hygiene items, and shoes for shelter residents.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Seeking approval of the fiscal year 22-23 professional contract with Women's Services. As part of our retained revenue plan, the provider has been approved to purchase supplies for their shelter and items needed by those moving into their own housing, as well as construction costs to update buildings.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Saw,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
I'm seeking approval of the fiscal year 22-23 professional contract with the YWCA of Titusville. As part of our retained revenue plan, the provider has been approved to purchase supplies for their shelter.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
I'm seeking approval of the fiscal year 23-24 CYS contract with Child and Family Connections for foster care services. These are the same services that we contracted for in the current year.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry,
Yes.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
Seeking approval of the fiscal year 23-24 CYS contract with Marquis of Pennsylvania for foster care services. These are the same services that we contracted for in fiscal year 22-23.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Saw,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Seeking approval of the 23-24 JP contract with Outside In School of Experiential Education for their Voyagers program. This is the same service that we contracted for in fiscal year 22-23. The rate remains the same as well.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
Seeking approval of the fiscal year 23-23 JP contract with White Deer Run for Cove Prep and 2-week diagnostic services.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Seeking approval of the fiscal year 23-24 MHID contract with Child and Family Connections for transitional housing, community participation services, and in-home and community supports. These are the same services that we contracted for in fiscal year 22-23.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Saw,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Seeking approval of the fiscal year 23-24 MHID contract with the ARC of Crawford County for several state set rate services. These are the same services that we contracted for in fiscal year 22-23.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
Seeking approval of the 23-24 mental health contract with the Titusville Area Senior Citizens Corporation for the Social Connection Program.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry,
Yes.
Saw,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
And finally, I'm seeking approval of the 23-24 professional contract with the Crawford County Consumer Satisfaction Team for surveys and focus groups.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded, any discussion? Roll call.
Soft,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Finance,
Good morning.
morning.
Stephanie.
I am seeking approval of the payment of invoices totaling $86,270. Those were detailed at last week's work session.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded, any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry.
Yes,
Soft.
Aye.
I'm seeking ratification for invoices totaling $751,007.73. Those were also detailed at last week's work session.
So moved. Second.
probably moved and seconded, any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes,
Soft,
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
And finally, I'm seeking ratification of the audit review agreement with pharmacy, with Remedy Analytics for our pharmacy pricing.
So moved. Second.
probably moved and seconded, any discussion? Roll call.
Soft,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Human Resources.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Brittany.
I'm requesting to ratify the payment of the Campbell Durant and Beatty invoice number 74606 in the amount of $8,570.09 for special labor counsel.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded, any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry.
Yes,
Soft.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brittany.
Jack, do you want to come up now? Fine.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Jack.
Morning, Jack.
Apologize for my tardiness.
No problem.
Okay.
I'm seeking your approval of purchase of one replacement three-phase motor for rooftop unit. The motor is no longer under warranty. It is to be purchased from R.E. Michael Company at a cost of $755 and to be purchased with ARPA funds.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded, any discussion? Roll call.
Soft,
Aye.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry.
Yes,
Secondly, I'm seeking to get approval for travel expenditures for two officers to attend required training at the PADOC Training Academy in Elizabethtown. There's no cost for training, however, due to the large basic training class, the academy cannot provide housing. The estimated cost is $586.
I'll make a motion for discussion and follow. Then I'll second.
probably moved and seconded with some discussion, Commissioner Weiderspan.
But we found paperwork for that, and I know this was an estimate on here, but I think it's $502 a piece, so that would be $1,000.
No, it's just 50. That's for both. It wasn't,
Then paperwork needs to be,
the paperwork I sent through was just for one, was for both.
Okay.
are they sharing a room, or?
They're sharing a room, correct?
And you're still thinking that the cost won't be more than $586?
Right.
Okay,
They're sharing a room, plus they're taking the county vehicle.
okay. I mean, I'm okay.
Does that show that it's two separate rooms, maybe?
I mean, I can get them 2 rooms if you guys like me to, but like to
Well, I
save
mean,
money.
the way that you completed, the paperwork was completed, it does show 2 separate rooms.
It
Because the
should-
room is listed on each of them. And then there's a $118 fee for each of them, so.
Yeah, it should just be one room with 2 queen-size beds.
So,
I can resubmit that. They don't go
Okay.
till the 20th, I believe it is, 22nd maybe.
Yeah, it's like 10 days or something, yeah.
Just wanted to-
so one room, and then if each of them take the allowed amount for meals, the total amount is $621.
Well, the allowed amount isn't necessarily what they'll take, because they'll be fed lunch for sure at the academy,
Okay,
and possibly breakfast, but I wasn't counting that in. The only thing I was counting was breakfast and dinner.
okay, so I guess I'm okay approving the $586 pending a new form that
Okay.
details that, I guess.
Yeah, I'll correct my motion to that.
Okay, probably moved and seconded, any other discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan,
Yes.
Henry.
Yes,
Soft.
Aye.
and
Thanks,
Jack wants to spend a few seconds here talking about corrections on the
Yep.
week.
This week is Correctional Employee Week for Pennsylvania, and it's also National Corrections Officer Week, nationally, obviously. So normally I would read the decree from the governor, but it's kind of long and involved and says the same stuff every year. So I jotted down a few things. little bit of humor and a little bit of facts that are kind of sombering. You know you're in corrections if you've ever thrown away a full can of soda because it's left your sight for 30 seconds. You've never counted on going home until you've actually made it out of the parking lot. You ever wanted to physically assault your partner because they said, it sure is a quiet day. You've ever looked at a stain on your pants and wondered if it was blood, feces, or taco sauce. You know that when an inmate says, I slipped in the shower, it actually means I got beat up. You believe 90% of what you hear, 75% of what you see. You are the only person introduced at social gatherings by your profession. You can't feel comfortable in restaurants unless your chair faces the door. And this happens a lot. You've forgotten to eat your lunch because you were too busy. And moving on to some other issues, corrections officers are often exhausted, traumatized, and often ignored and shunned. If they express any weariness and misgivings about the work they are required to do, as a result, COs have a rate of PTS that are more than double military, and they are 20% higher than police officers. The average life expectancy of a corrections officer in the United States is 59 years old, compared to the national average of 78.5. So if they retire at 55 years old, the average is 59. The suicide rate is at least 7 times higher than the national suicide rate. And they're ranked amongst 15th amongst careers with the highest divorce rate. So it's a tough job. My guys do a fantastic job at it. And the reason why I was late this morning, as a matter of fact, is we're currently shaking down the entire facility, and we have a full-scale exercise going on afterwards. But I'll be sure and fill you guys in with the fines we get after the shakedown's finished. That's all I got.
Thank you, Jack, and your staff. I always appreciate your awards and reports when we go out there for the jail inspectors meeting. And certainly all of us in the Board of Commissioners thank all of you for all you do every day for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, there's a new hires and transfer. Take your packet.
I'll make a motion, we approve the request of new hires and employee transfers as detailed in our packet today.
I will second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Okay, there's this upcoming events is just a reminder, next week the work session is actually on Thursday. The full session is May 24th. The courthouse will be closed for Memorial Day on May 29th. Any commissioner comments? Commissioner Soft.
Thank you. A few comments this morning. You may have seen a press release in the Meadville Tribune this morning. There's going to be one in the Titusville News Journal as well, related to the county is still in need of poll workers. Please, the election is on Tuesday, as we know. I'd just like to read these locations. We need still 5 or 6 people in the city of Titusville, 2 in Centerville Borough, 2 in Springboro, 2 in Woodcock Township, and 2 for the city of Meadville. So if you have an interest in being a poll worker on election day, please contact Jess and her team at Voter Services, 814-333-7307. Again, we cannot perform election day appropriately without an ample number of poll workers. So thanks to all those who have already signed up. And please, ask your friends, family, yourself, if you can spend a day working the polls. We really need you. So far, we have sent out a little over 4,000 mail-in and absentee ballots, but have only received back about 2,400. So there's still quite a few out there. I encourage you, please get those filled out, get them sent back, or bring them in. If you are going to, if you have applied and received a mail-in or absentee ballot, please take a moment and follow the instructions. Make sure that you sign the back of the envelope. Make sure you put today's date on that line that says today's date, not your birth date, not some other date. Those are very important instructions to follow. Get those back to us. They must be received in our hands by 8 p.m. on election day. If you are bringing them in, reminder that the state law does not allow us to accept any ballot that is not your own. So Please don't bring in your friends, don't bring in your family members, just bring in yours if you're bringing them in. And again, thanks to everybody. We're putting the final touches on Election Day and hope for a great day next Tuesday.
Okay, Commissioner Weiderspan?
Yeah, just like to put a plug in for conservation. Coming up May 20th, that's a Saturday, there's a field and forest workshop up in Erie County. It's a combined workshop between Crawford, Warren, and Erie counties. It's called Field and Forest. It's for primarily for landowners, but if you have any interest at all in conservation in the land, half of the seminars they're having have to do with forest, and the rest is with agricultural and land and crops. It's $15 per person. You can contact Erie County Conservation District if you'd like to go. I went last fall, we had one in Crawford County, up near Sagertown, and it was very interesting. And I would suggest anybody, if you have an interest in conservation, trees, forest, or farmland, it'd be a great opportunity and, for some education.
Thank you, Commissioner Weiderspan. I just want to touch on conservation a second, and that the commissioners are aware of the French Creek Wildlife watershed program they're trying to do. We are speaking with Conservation and Farm Bureau and a lot of other entities. We suggest that you would look at the information you can find on the website. There was a Tribune article last week, I believe, about it. Something that's pretty significant to our area, so we're taking it pretty serious, and if we'd ask you to look into it as well, maybe support some letters that have been written in regards to the future of that project. So just pay attention if you could for that. If not, any other business for the commissioners? If not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.